Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the OTOT podcast. This week, we are going to be taking a look at what we're currently watching, giving you some suggestions of what you should be watching and what you probably shouldn't be watching. I'm Alex.
It's Ali.
It's Jason.
It's Trakari.
Okay. And so let's get started. And when I say watching, I mean that generally. I want to include anything from movies, TV, maybe you're listening to podcasts or whatever music you're watching. Maybe you're actively playing a game. I really want to understand how you guys are spending your free time right now and why, right? So, who wants to go first?
I want to hear what Ollie's doing. I want Ollie to go first.
Watching
Put him on the
David
spot.
Goggins videos.
He's watching David Goggins. That's right.
They don't know me, son.
I like men.
That's
But
not the
hardest
quote.
Hard men.
He said, the quote is not "I
That's
like
my
men."
quote.
No, that's what he
my
said.
quote.
That's what he said. That's exactly.
That's-
He said, I like hard men.
I like hard men. Ollie can confirm.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Yeah. In that the truth.
All right.
Oh,
But-
man.
All right.
But
Let's
yeah,
start with Ali. What movies, TV, YouTube videos? What are you watching?
TV. I'm kind of watching like a bunch of shows right now. It's all on Max,
Okay.
except for one. That one it's on Hulu. It's Snowfall. Like I just started it.
And
Like episode
what is
1.
Snowfall?
It's about like basically this black kid who like gets in to like selling cocaine on the West Coast in California, and like he like creates this empire around him, and yeah, it's pretty interesting. I don't know. I need more like dramas in my life. Also started watching The Sopranos on Max, which is about the Italian mob. Tony Soprano and the gang,
Sure.
doing bad.
Okay.
Alex,
Okay.
as a part Italian yourself, how do you feel about the Italian mob?
How do I feel about them? I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know.
Would you join the mob?
Probably not.
Aren't you kind of just like born into it? You're like, if you're Italian, you're just like born into it.
Yeah.
What do you
It's
mean?
more of a demand. It's
I
more of a
think it
demand
depends-
than anything.
I think it depends on the region that you're born.
Got
That's-
you.
If you're born in like one of the boroughs of New York, I'm assuming that it's a lot easier to get into some organized crime there than it is to be in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Hey, you'd be surprised. I heard they get down and dirty up in Raleigh.
Now that's the Amish mafia.
Is that what it is? Alright, but sorry for interrupting. Keep going, Holly.
I'm also watching that new show Harley, which is like a comedic take on like the DC universe, and
Do you mean
starring
Harley
like
Quinn?
on Harley Quinn, yeah, and kind of the DC universe.
No, the show is called Harley Quinn.
Oh, it's called Harley Quinn.
Yes.
Damn. Okay. Yeah.
It's an animated show on Max.
Yeah. It's really funny. I think Jason would like it a lot if you just gave it a
I
chance.
won't.
Jason doesn't like shows with women, so that's already out of the
Yeah.
question.
As this podcast is discussing,
What else? am I
apparently I
Okay.
hate women now. I don't know what that's about.
Okay.
Oh, I'll be watching The West for like the 20th time or whatever. That show's about it's about a Democratic president who's it's a president who's a Democrat. That's what I should say. And it's about like his 8 years in office and just all the hijinks that the U.S. government gets into.
Okay. So what it sounds to me is you're watching a lot of dramas and then one comedy. What is it about the drama that makes it worth watching?
It's just interesting. Um, like comedies, I feel like I usually like watch them to go to sleep, but like the dramas, they actually like get my attention.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. Is there anything you're watching right now that you would not recommend to somebody? You're like, I don't understand why this is popular. It is so terrible. Never watch this.
Um, oh yeah, I went like through some of like the recommended stuff on um on Max, and one of the shows was Veep, which is like
Sure, yeah.
what it is. Do you know, Alex?
Yeah, it's a like a political satire about the vice president who is played by Julia Louis Dreyfus. Um, and it's just about her time in office. It's a like an episodic um, comedy series, right? It stars her and Tony Hale and a couple other people.
Yeah, I couldn't make it 5 minutes in.
So it's very much like The West Wing, except comedy version.
Yeah, it feels like it's a mix of The West Wing and like Parks and Rec or something.
Sure,
That's like the 5 minutes I watched. That's what I got. But
gotcha.
But to be clear, Parks and Rec is very good. Just so people out there know.
Oh, I
oh
agree.
Don't
yeah,
let that deter you.
Is
Rec
Parks
great.
and Rec good? Because I've seen like every time I see a clip, I'm just like, this looks super corny.
It is
It's
corny, but
fantastic.
that first season, the first 2 seasons are probably my favorite 2 seasons of television ever.
High
Okay.
praise, high praise.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
Are there any so for Ollie? Are there any shows that like you're thinking about? Like you're just like, I might give this a try, but you just haven't pulled the trigger yet. I feel like
um,
inappropriate phrasing. Let me think of a different way to say that. Um, yeah. Have it's just any shows that you just haven't made the decision to start yet.
um, really, the only show like I was like kind of like holding back on, I guess, is Snowfall. Oh, Atlanta. I
Have you seen
I
Atlanta?
yeah, I haven't seen like I think I've seen one full episode of Atlanta, which is Donald Glover show. I don't even know what's it about, Shikari?
Atlanta?
Is it like
I think
anthropology
like.
kind of?
Can you repeat that one more time?
Is it like an anthropology series, like a bunch of different?
Anthology series. No, it's so it's not an anthology series, but it is episodic in a lot. Like there is an overarching story, but it's mostly episodic. It kind of the show from its you can tell from its initial conception to what it ended as. The show changed. Like what it was pitched as and what it ended as changed very greatly. You can like tell through watching all 4 seasons. But
It's
Atlanta's really good.
definitely that show is great. It's like it's Afro surrealism, right? So my
Yeah.
favorite way, it's kind of how Boondocks. Like I feel like it's like live action Boondocks. The way it does commentary on the Black community is hilarious to me, while also being funny at the same time.
Explain Afro surrealism for our Caucasian listeners.
Bro, I don't know how to do that. Whoa! Let me look up the.
I can. Do you want me to do it?
Yeah, you freaking give the rundown of that.
Okay, so just so you know, Afro surrealism is like it's basically just like taking the ideas of like just kind of the things that Black people experienced from like slavery or the civil rights movement, and kind of just taking like having a surrealist take on them, like making like kind of like I don't know, like kind of like twisting it into a way that like almost makes you wonder if it's reality. So like for example, in Atlanta, there's one episode. Even the concept of the entire show is kind of like a black man becoming a rapper, like just kind of blowing up randomly. Is that like real, or is it just like the fantasy of some of impoverished black people who are trying to escape poverty? So it's kind of Afro surrealism in a simplified way.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, that's a really good show. Excuse me.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying that show is really good. If you have not given it, if you have not watched Atlanta, this is a good time to watch it because the show ended. You can catch up. It's not like you'll be. It's not like there's so many episodes you'll never be able to catch up.
That's a really good way to put that.
Yeah,
That is
That's
it's
something
good.
that.
over.
Oh, sorry.
I know. I'm sorry. I was just saying. Yeah, it's over. Give it a chance.
Gotcha. Ollie.
Yeah, that's really good because like I haven't like I don't even know how many seasons it has. I think that was like stopping me from watching it because like I kept seeing a bunch of different clips and like I thought there were like 7 or 8 seasons out there. And
But that's the
So
worst
many
part about watching stuff for me, man. Because I like to watch stuff after it's done, so I know it's over with, and I can just watch it. I can get it all done in like a weekend or two. I don't have to sit there and wait for new episodes to come out all the time.
mhm.
Sure.
But you were saying something, Chikari?
I was just saying, I think it's only like 4 seasons. So yeah, it's only 4 seasons, and there's maybe like 12 episodes per season, something like that. So
That's
Yep.
not bad.
That-
Not bad at all. A quick watch if you really try.
Yep. All right. I got one more question for Ali before we move on to someone else's shows. Ali, is there any show or anything that you're excited to watch? Something that's not out yet, but you're looking forward to?
um hmm. Invincible
Okay.
season 2. And honestly, I am a little excited for the this is like a long ways away, but the damn fuck.
I agree. I agree.
I'm excited for that too.
The I'm sorry, the live action um Avatar The Last Airbender that Netflix is making.
But
Sure.
it's gonna be
I'm
Okay.
garbage.
Okay.
I think I'm trying to be optimistic about it.
No,
I
you have more
okay.
faith than I do.
I think it's not gonna be okay. And I'm fine with okay.
Right. Okay. Okay.
If it's even that. I saw the trailer. I don't like One Piece at all. I'll come out there and say this, but I saw the trailer for the live action One Piece, and I wanted to go cliff diving without a parachute. I saw that and I'm like, why is this a thing? Why is this a thing? Who asked for this? Who asked
Apparently,
for this?
Netflix's like anime like adaptations make a shitload of money. Like
All
the
right,
Bleach adaptation, the one like not the one, the Death
But
Note
Cowboy
adaptation.
Bebop flopped.
which is
But
crazy because the
even then,
Cowboy
there's like
Bebop one
other.
was good. That
The
was
Cowboy
good.
Bebop one was not good.
It was good.
It was
As somebody
not.
who loves
No,
Cowboy
it
Bebop,
was
I
not.
loved it.
As
I
someone
loved
who
it.
also loves Cowboy Bebop, it was not good.
Well,
Okay.
you're entitled to your wrong
All right.
opinion.
All right. All right. All right. Back to Ali. Ali, before we move off of you, that was your shows. How about anything else you spend your time? You listen to podcasts? You playing any games? Anything like that?
Yeah, I'm like listening to this one podcast about military fitness called Mops and Mo's. Um it's run by two guys who are they're like contract personal trainers through the army. And one of them is prior service. He was an officer. They both like have a tons of like accreditations and degrees. So they know what they're talking about. And like they have a bunch of guests who come on and talk about honestly like a wide range of topics
Nice.
and fitness. And it's not just like the is like military fitness, but it's not just about military fitness, and that's something that I really like. It's like something that anybody can really listen to.
Okay. And what is the name of that one more time?
Mops and Mo's.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
There's another podcast that I like that doesn't really they don't well, he doesn't like post too often, mainly because his guests are like super busy, like running the army or running the military in general. But that one is Moments in Leadership, and it's I forget his name, but actually let me pull it up real quick.
Uh,
It's run by a retired Marine Colonel, David B. Armstrong, and he brings on like all these guests who are like who've made it to the top of like the military pretty much. And some of them are retired, some of them are like working civilian jobs. There's a couple who are still actively serving, and he just goes through their lives and has them talk about how they got to where they are, what lessons they've learned, and how those lessons can pertain to your life. And this is another one where it's like very military focused, but a lot of the things that you learn, you can apply to a civilian life and career, you know?
Nice.
And that's something I really like.
Cool. Cool. All right. Well, I guess is there anything else you want to talk about, or are we ready to talk to Chikari?
Uh, let's go on to the Chikari.
All right.
Oh boy.
Chikari, what are you watching? What are you listening to? What's going on?
So, man, the first the thing I've been watching a lot of, and this is even like recent. I've been watching like pretty much all summer. I've been watching like Minecraft long plays. Like they're just so
nerd.
relaxing.
Okay. By
It
like who specifically, or does it not matter?
doesn't really matter. Like there's one guy named Wax Fraud. I probably watch him the most. Like I subscribe to him. He uploads like these like maybe hour, 2 hour videos of him just like building stuff in Minecraft. And like it's no commentary. It's just them just like building stuff and like it's so relaxing. It just helps me like calm down. Like and it's just yeah, so that's like the main thing I've been watching a lot of. It's not like
Sure. Sure.
I don't know. I watch it at night usually when I'm trying to fall asleep just because like I don't know, it's just like
Okay.
just the sounds of the blocks breaking sounds nice to my ears.
Gotcha. All right.
Oh yeah.
I
But
get that.
other than yeah, it's just not. It's like ASMR, but without like strange girls pretending to lick ears. So yeah.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah. So besides that, I've been watching. After seeing Barbie, I don't know, man. I kind of just wanted to watch some of those like early 2000s kind of like
Chick
chick
flicks.
flicks. Yeah, I've been watching them. You know, like I watched But I'm a Cheerleader with Natasha Lyonne, is I feel and RuPaul. I think that's how you say her name. And then I watched Clueless the other day. I watched Mean Girls. I watched The Devil Wears Prada. I watched Pretty in
That's a good
Pink.
one.
And
Devil Wears
is this your
Prada?
first time seeing them, or are you rewatching these?
Oh no, I've seen all of these so many times. Especially
Gotcha.
me and my mom used to watch The Devil Wears Prada all the time as a kid, and I was like, this movie is when Anne Hathaway decides she's gonna stop working for Meryl Streep. I'm like, yes, yes, girl. But yeah,
New
Devil
Age.
Wears Prada is awesome. I've watched Tokyo Drift like 2 times since it's been on Netflix. Like I
Such a
love
good
Tokyo
movie.
Drift. Tokyo Drift is so good, so good. It's I like. Is it crazy to say it's the best Fast and Furious movie? Because I feel like
No,
No, it
not
is
at
the
all.
best.
yeah, it's so good. I like
Between Tokyo Drift and Too Fast, Too Furious for me, both of those
me.
are like
I,
top
I
tier.
watched Too Fast, Too Furious recently too. Like I've watched Fast and Furious. I watched Too Fast. I watched Tokyo Drift. I watch Fast and the Furious, and I'm on Fast 5 now.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's when it all goes downhill.
But like, I don't know. Like, I used to like Too Fast, Too Furious a lot, but watching it now, it's like it's kind of boring. You know?
I'm gonna disagree with you. It is boring, and it's also kind of cringe. How many times like Paul Walker does a black accent? Like, hey man, I don't want to talk about a cut. Like, bro, you are not him. You're not that guy. You are a white boy from California. You can calm it down, sir.
Oh wow, that's
Bro, that scene
forget about it, cuz.
every time I see that scene, I'm gonna send it to Alex so he can put it in the video version. Because every time I see it, I break out laughing.
I love that scene. That scene is amazing.
Let your man go, huh?
Drop it, I don't want to talk about it.
Drop it, hell. I want to hear about this, homie.
I said forget about it, cuz.
Forget about it, cuz. But yeah, like Tokyo Drift is just like, I think it just is like, I think it was Fast and Furious was the first Fast and Furious movie I saw, but Tokyo Drift is still just like special for me. Like, it's just like so cool and unique in a way that, and I think a lot of it just has to do with the setting, you know, and just being in Tokyo. Like, it's just like so unique in comparison to the other ones. That's like, yeah, love Tokyo Drift. And then I kind of talked about this before. Huge wrestling fan, so I've been watching AEW. I don't really watch WWE anymore. I mostly just watch like AEW and Japanese wrestling, most like especially old Japanese wrestling where they're just beating the fuck out of each other. I love that shit, man. But,
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So you're saying WWE is not worth watching anymore?
To me, some people say that I'm an asshole for saying that, but to me, no. It's like only thing if you're gonna watch WWE, the only thing really that's interesting that's happening right now is like everything that's going on with Roman Reigns because he's been champ for like 1,400 something days. He's about to pass like Hulk Hogan, I think, I think he's about to pass Hulk Hogan for know how many days he's been champ. The only person who's held it who is after he passed Hulk Hogan, the only person I think who's held it longer than him is like Bruno Sammartino, and he held the championship for like 8 years. So that's probably not getting passed. But outside of that, I don't really care about anything happening in WWE. But
Okay.
AEW just had like All In, and they sold out Wembley Stadium like yesterday. And I watched that. I had a really good time watching that. But yeah,
Nice.
I love wrestling. Wrestling is nice and
Quick
like,
question: do you watch
yeah. What's up?
Japanese wrestling?
Yeah, I think I prefer Japanese wrestling to American wrestling.
Yeah, I've been seeing lots of like hilariously female Japanese wrestling, and
Joshi wrestling is awesome.
I love the costumes. You remember
Yeah.
back in the day, like in the '90s, early 2000s, like when we were watching wrestling as kids for costumes? I feel like that
Yeah,
stuff's not
absolutely.
there anymore.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I think some guys still do it big, but like not many. Like some like occasionally like for WrestleMania, a guy will like pop out like with the cool little gear or whatever. But in
Yeah.
Japan, like they're still doing it crazy, like the giant coats, especially the female wrestlers. They always have these super intricate outfits. Like it's just nuts. Yeah. But yeah,
Then been freaking lucha wrestling. Same with like
yeah.
is Lucha Underground, is that still a thing? I remember that.
Unfortunately, it's not a thing anymore.
Ah, I
There's
What
remember
still
is
that.
like
Lucha?
Lucha Underground. Okay, so it's basically like this like cinematic wrestling. So you know how wrestling is usually like live action or whatever, right? Like how it's like I guess not live action, but like live. So Lucha Underground was like this cinematic kind of like wrestling show where like they edited and stuff. They had like vignettes and like they had like scenes that were shot on location that would lead into the match, and they have their own little like arena called like the Azteca, I think it was called. But yeah, so it's pretty much just like combining like film with movies or whatever, right? So it was kind of unique in that way because most wrestling companies don't do that. It's just straight like Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, or Dynamite, the live show.
Gotcha.
Or this hat like like a very like
And I do
cinematic
want to
feel.
clarify something. By lucha, are you talking about like Mexican Hispanic wrestling?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think. And just for what I've been listening to, listen to a lot of Paris, Texas, which is like a rap rock
I
band.
love Paris, Texas.
Yeah, I like them a lot, man. They're really good. Just them, and Gene Dawson too. He's another kind of like rap rock kind of guy. Um, and then I'm always like listening to like Tyler the Creator, like Childish Gambino. Those are just kind of like my favorites. I have like maybe 40 songs saved from from both of those dudes. So and Earl Sweatshirt too.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I talked. Oh yeah.
No, sorry. Keep going.
I was gonna say I've talked about it before, but just I'm still watching Power Rangers and Yu-Gi-Oh. So those are just two other things I'm still watching.
Gotcha. Okay. And so, any games you're playing?
Not really. I'm not really playing any games right now.
Okay.
I mean, I've been playing Gin Rummy on my phone, but I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not playing any video games.
Okay. All right. And so,
Well, you need to start playing Marvel Snap.
we will get to you later, Jason. You will be right after this. Let's finish with Drakari, but we're not done with Drakari yet. Drakari, same questions that went to Ali. Anything you're watching that you're like, nobody else should be watching this. This is terrible.
Anything I'm watching that nobody else should be watching. Jeez, man.
Or listening to, or anything of the sorts.
Let me think. Oh, I watched The Hitman's Bodyguard. That movie is lame.
Fantastic. Oh, it's so good. The second one is terrible.
I haven't seen. I'm like halfway through the first one, and I'm like, wow. Oh boy.
It's Samuel L. Jackson, Ryan Reynolds. How can it be bad?
They've both been better. They've both been so much better.
Okay.
This movie feels like less. What was that one movie Ryan Reynolds did with Denzel Washington? Because
I want to say The Fugitive. No, that's not it.
Nah, that's a Harrison Ford and
yes,
Tom
sorry.
Jones.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I know what you're talking about. Oh gosh, what is it called?
Safe House. Yeah, Safe House. It feels like Safe House, but just like funny. And I don't know. And they're different concepts. But it's like I don't know. It's just not working. It's not hitting with me the same way.
Then you're gonna hate the second one. I would recommend you not watch the second one if you don't like the first.
Anything else that I think like is particularly bad? I heard the ending to Riverdale was pretty garbage. I heard they're like in a quad relationship, so probably don't watch that.
Okay.
Was Riverdale even good to begin with?
No.
I have no clue.
Okay. All right. And then what are you excited for?
What am I excited for? Man, this is tough. What am I excited for? I'm trying to think about like what's coming out. Like I don't really know what's coming out. Like I'm not excited for anything Marvel related. I wish I was, but I'm not.
The next up for Marvel is what? The Marvels? Are you not excited for that?
Man.
I think it'll be better than the first one because it seems like there's like an actual plot. But
okay.
I don't think I'll like it.
Yeah.
I am excited for Blue Beetle. I'm still waiting to get my paycheck.
September 2nd, right? That's when it's supposed to be going to streaming?
I don't even know. I want to say it's still in theaters.
Yeah, they've already given it a streaming date. If I'm not mistaken, it's September 2nd. Which by the time this episode's out means it's going to be out.
Yeah, I am super. Everyone says it's really good, which I am so happy to hear. So I'm excited to hear. I'm excited to watch it. Blue Beetle is probably the thing that I'm most excited to see. And then I think that anything else I'm particularly like excited about really quick. Nah, that's it, man. Oh, wait. I am excited for more of the Republican debates because those are hilarious. Vivek Ramaswamy, yeah, buddy. That guy's nuts. Yeah, so I'll say that. That's my final answer.
Okay. Sorry, I'm looking up Blue Beetle. I don't know
Yeah,
where I saw September 2nd. I can't find any date at all.
Yeah, I can't find it ever. I'm looking for it and I can't find anything.
Okay.
I got an article from The Economist online telling me to just pirate it. So I guess that's what I'll do.
Okay.
Until it's on go.
What?
Yeah.
One more time.
How long do you think before it's on HBO?
That's what
Because I
I
just
can't find anything about that like
The
at all.
Flash. The Flash
I
was
mean,
67 days.
yeah.
So, and this movie is doing better than the Flash. So I'd say until
Is it?
It
yeah, so
no,
far
it's it is not.
It's
I think
not?
it didn't it open better than the Flash,
It
but then it
opened
fell
better.
off quicker.
Yes.
Yeah. It,
In total, it's still going to lose money.
yeah. Well, I
Which is a
mean,
shame, but
Yeah.
because like
is it?
if it is good, yes, because I think it's gonna like. I feel like DC already seems very hesitant on exploring characters who aren't Batman, Superman, or Harley Quinn. So I think this movie failing, it's gonna like I don't know. I feel like it's gonna hurt them experimenting with other characters.
I
For
just
some
think it was
reason,
a
I feel
no. Go ahead.
I don't think that's true because aren't they making a Creatures Commando? Like, who is that? Why
that's
is that?
James Gunn. That's James
Yeah. So I
Gunn.
mean,
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm
they
just
already have a slate of movies. They can't not do the movies now. Like they've already
yeah,
announced
they're
all that
going to
they're
do
doing.
those movies. I just think that it was a bad idea to change Blue Beetle from a HBO Max release to a theatrical release because it just wasn't going to make money.
Yeah.
Blue Beetle
Yeah.
is unfortunately not a popular enough character. I think
Right.
he's popular with people around our age because he was in the Brave and the Bold show, which was
Yeah.
great, by the
Right.
way, if you've never seen it. But if like kids younger than us have no idea who Blue Beetle is unless they watch Young Justice season 2, I think, and even then, they'd be too young for that.
Sure.
So I
Yeah,
really,
that's true. That's
yeah.
true.
All right. All right. Well, Chikari, is there anything else you're excited for? Not really.
Well, I mean, I know Across the Spider Verse just got released on digital, so I'm gonna probably buy that. Watch
Okay.
Across the Spider Verse a couple times, so probably that. Yeah.
Nice. All right. Is there anything else you want to mention?
Scaring the Hose is really good.
And what is that?
Yeah, it is.
That's a rap album by JPEG Mafia and Danny Brown.
Okay.
My
Okay.
baby boy, Peggy.
All right. All right, Jason, you're up. I know what you're going to talk about. Go ahead. What games you playing?
I am playing Baldur's Gate 3 and Marvel Snap now, guys.
And what are those
If you
games?
Marvel Snap is a card-based fighting game. As the best way, it's a card-based card battle game, like Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon. If you've ever played that, but with Marvel characters, it's got really great art, like ripped straight from the comic books with professional comic artists. It is addicting and fun. I got it installed on the computer. I got it on my phone. It's taken over my life. It's it won. I've lost my mind to that game. It is so fun. Yeah, I think I've already put a couple hours into it, and it's just been destroying me. Um, and then Baldur's Gate 3. Now, I this is I for I don't know if Alex will be able to, but I sent a screenshot of my Steam library, just so you guys can kind of get a view of the type of games I like to play. These are not indicative of all my hours because like I play like 300 hours in Fallout 4 just on my Xbox alone. But I have 137, I think is what that says, hours in Baldur's Gate. 117. Sorry, 117 hours in Baldur's Gate 3. It came out like 2 weeks ago, so I've lost my life to that game.
What?
Yeah, yeah.
When did Baldur's Gate release? Let's look that up.
I can pull up
Let's check
the start.
Jason's math.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 2 weeks ago. August 3rd, so more than 2 weeks ago. At the beginning, no.
It was
Yeah, no, August 3rd.
25 days ago. So
25, 3 weeks?
Yeah, the
You
3
said
and
117 hours?
yeah,
Yeah,
that's still a
117
lot
hours.
of time, but
Yeah.
I guess it's
Two,
better than 117 in 2 weeks because that's
you know, well, to compare it,
that's like
and
no
for those
sleep.
people, yeah, basically, that's basically what it has been. For people who can see the image, Cyberpunk 2077 is probably my my top 5 games of all time. I have 200 and I can give the exact number. I have 289.8 hours in that game. I've been playing it since day of release, 2020, and Baldur's Gate 3 has caught up to almost half of that
Okay,
in
and
3 weeks.
for our
So,
audience, what is Baldur's Gate 3?
so Baldur's Gate 3 is what they call a CRPG, stands for computer role playing game. You know, you're asking, are all role playing games computer role playing games? It's just a genre defining word. It just means that it's isometric, top down view. It's not traditional third person. It's more of the like when games were coming out in the 90s. I like to call it classic. The C stands for classic because when games were coming out in the 90s, that's what the technology was limited to. Third person didn't exist, so they had you know over the not over the shoulder but isometric view. Um, so it's a role playing game. It's been in development for a long time, 8 years, and it has become probably one of my favorite games of all time. It's definitely popped the top 5 now. I think it's knocked off Fallout 4. So and that's for people who know me. I know Alex. Well, no,
Mhm.
saying it's popped off Fallout 4 is crazy because
Yes.
that game, it still means a lot. So that's what I'm playing. And next week, or well, by the time this comes out, I'll already have access to it. But Starfield, baby, I'm so excited for that game. So excited for it. I spent $100, y'all, for the premium edition, just so I can have 5 days early access. I need it in my veins directly to me. Starfield is a new IP from Bethesda. They make really great role playing games. Fallout 4 is one of their games. Fallout 3, Skyrim, Oblivion. I love Bethesda games. So excited for this.
Right, and Starfield is, like you said, role playing, but it's in space this time, right?
Sci-fi. They're calling it NASA punk. So like
Okay.
realistic looking spaceships, stuff that we can realistically have in like 200 years. Um, yeah,
Okay.
in terms of what I've
I
been,
don't want to put words in your mouth, but I'm assuming you're also excited for Phantom Liberty.
yes, I am excited for Phantom Liberty. I've kind of been just chilling out on Cyberpunk because Phantom Liberty is an expansion for Cyberpunk. They basically rebuilt the game from the ground up to include a new expansion, new storyline, new combat, and everything. I've kind of been taking a pause on that because I know I'm not going to be finished with Baldur's Gate 3. I'm going to be starting Starfield, and it also comes out the same day as Mortal Kombat 1. So I'm like, I don't know. I'm definitely going to get it, but will I have time to play it is the big thing. Um,
Gotcha.
it comes out 4 days after Mortal Kombat 1, so about 3 weeks from now. So it's gonna be hard because Mortal Kombat is one of my favorite fighting games. So I'm gonna be knee deep in that. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, that in terms of games, that's what I'm playing. What I'm looking forward to. What am I watching? All right, I am unfortunately watching the Ahsoka show. Um, and it's good. I like it. I like it. I still hate modern Star Wars. That doesn't take it away from me. Still hate modern Star Wars, but I was unfortunately I was over my dad's house and he showed me the first 2 episodes and I'm like, why did you do this? Because now I have to watch it. I have no choice but to watch it now. So
That's the
because
rule.
now yeah, I had no choice. Now I got to know how it concludes. I watched the first 2 episodes and now I have to. I just want to know. So I'm really interested in that show. It's I wasn't the biggest fan of the first episode, but the second episode gets a lot better. So actually, I'll flip that around. I wasn't a fan of the second episode, but the first episode was really good. I'm sorry. I've been watching that. That's all that I've been watching in terms of like more traditional media. I watch lots of YouTube channels, so
Okay. Like what?
got you guys the list. Got you guys the list. See, I've been a good boy. I sent it in. Where did I send it? in general. So these are 4 channels I want to talk about really quickly. Um, Patrician TV makes really good deep dive analysis and retrospectives on video games. He was also kind of like the first guy to do the meme video. He has a 12-hour video about Morrowind, which is a Bethesda game. He has a 20-hour long video about Skyrim. Um, I watched all 20 hours of it, talking about it. Um, Administrative Results is a gun channel. He talks a lot about guns, gun gear, and all that type of stuff. Um, cool, interesting firearms. DJ Peach Cobbler, he does videos about gaming, but right now he's doing lots and lots of videos on history. And my favorite video from him is he just did an hour and 30ish minute long video about like kind of like the fall of the Aztec Empire, like it's due to like the meeting the Spanish and all that, called November 8th, 1519. So that's been like a really good him. I really like him digging into history. He also does he did a really great video on excuse me. Oh my gosh, it was just what did the Romans think about the Jews? Talking about like how the Jewish civil war and uprisings when they were under Roman rule, which is really cool. And then also on my list is this YouTube channel called Warlocracy. He does basically like when I was talking about CRPGs, like old school 90s style role playing games, he does lots of videos on that, on those types of games, talking about how they were made, the gameplay, basically analysis videos, the story and everything, which are really fun. That's kind of it for what I'm watching. And in terms of music, I've just been listening to the same old, and diving deep into. I'm in my dad rock era, my Aerosmith era, my Guns N' Roses.
Okay.
So that's kind of what I've been listening to. Not much. I don't like to listen to albums. But this is gonna sound crazy to people. I like to listen to songs in random order. Like I don't believe in playlists. Like don't like come on, don't make me a playlist. I'm not gonna listen to it. I just like to listen to songs in random order, kind of just as they hit me. So I've just been listening to lots of random artists
Okay. That is
all over the
interesting.
place. Yeah, it's because I have ADHD.
Gotcha. All right. And now, last 2 questions. I think we kind of went over what you're excited for. Is there any
Yeah.
shows you're excited for?
Um, since what Ollie mentioned earlier, I'm kind of interested to see how they do Invincible season 2, just because I've caught up in the books to where I think season 2 was gonna go through and end. So I'm excited to see how they do that. Um, and a bunch of the stuff I'm excited for is coming out next year. I'm excited for the Fallout TV show because I'm really interested to how they do that. That got announced for next year. I think it more than likely got delayed because of the strikes going on, the writers and the actor strikes going on, and are there any movies coming out that I don't already like that we didn't already mention? Like I'm
Friday
not
Night at
excited for the
Freddy's.
Marvel.
Yeah. I mean, Dune 2 got pushed back, but I mean, that's still
Yeah,
coming out.
yeah, I got pushed back. Dune 2. I love the first Dune movie. I read the books. I'm a enjoyer of that first trilogy of books. So I am interested to see how they do part 2, because part 2 is still the first book, if I remember correctly. It's
Yes,
just
it is. Yes.
yeah.
And
So
the
I'm excited.
director, Denis Villeneuve, had said in an interview that if the second one does well, he will make Dune Messiah, which is going to do
Ooh,
terrible.
nah, that's gonna be good. Doom Messiah.
What is
Those are
Dune
some decent
Messiah?
sci. Dude, so
It's based off of the second book in the Dune series, right?
yeah, yeah. So the second book in the Dune, it's hard to explain because it gets real like Doom Messiah like is more philosophical and existential than the original Dune. It's not as crazy as like Dune, Chapter House Dune, or anything like that. But Dune Messiah is crazy, and I don't think that's something I can explain without having to read the books again. Because it gets crazy.
Okay.
Mhm.
I do recommend it.
All right. Um, is there anything else you want to talk about? Oh, is there anything
Huh?
that you're watching that people should not be watching?
Which that people should not be watching. Um, guys, guys, save yourself the brain cells. Save yourself. Just protect your mental health. Don't watch anything going on the news right now. Please stay away from the Republican debates. Stay away from the
Please
Democratic
watch the
debates.
Republican debates.
Don't watch
Watch
them.
the
Don't
Republican
watch
debates.
them. Don't watch them. Save yourself. Save your. Please, I'm begging you all. We have a mental health crisis in the United States. It is because people keep watching this stuff. To save yourself.
Okay.
My
But
mental
Don't you?
that's
health
it.
has for sure gotten better watching the Republican debates.
Oh my god.
Okay.
How else would they be informed about their presidential candidate?
Platform.
Um, these presidential candidates are talking nonsense. I saw Mike Pence get on stage and say he wants to abolish the Department of Education. In my mind, my brain hurt
Oh,
so
that's
bad
awesome,
from
dude.
hearing that. I was gonna go step out into traffic. I was gonna do it. I was thinking about it. I was thinking about going out there and stepping into traffic. And I was like, whoa. I had to calm myself down. I had to drink me a twisted tea. I had to go back in. I had to go back in and understand what I just heard and relax. Take a nap. I went straight to sleep after that.
Okay.
Right,
All right.
Alex.
Yeah. So, for me, this is kind of a weird period where I don't really have a lot going on in terms of what I'm watching and stuff. I typically do watch a lot of movies and shows, but I feel like I'm either caught up on everything or like the stuff that's out, I like don't really seem too interested in. The only things I just finished watching Silo, which is a little bit older at this point, maybe a year or two older, on Apple TV. It is a sci-fi, I'd say, thriller about this society that lives in a silo buried under the ground after the apocalypse basically happens and the world has been destroyed. They can't leave the silo without dying. It's essentially like Fallout 4, except if they never leave the bunker.
Okay,
Um,
that sounds interesting.
yeah, it's really interesting. It stars Rebecca Ferguson and Common, and I'm trying to think who else is in there, but
Oh, you ruined it when you said comment for
you don't
me.
like Common?
Thomas not a bad actor.
And every time I see his face, I can't think of him for as anything but the rapper Common. So it's hard. That's how I know. But I see his face and I'm like,
Well, his
bro, go.
stage name is Common.
Yeah, I need you to go spit a bar, bro. Like, where are you over here acting? Go spit a bar.
Okay. All right. Similar to Ali, I am watching Harley Quinn. However, I'm watching it as it comes out. Ali just started it, but I've been watching it for the last 4 years, or I guess it's 4 years now. Season 4 is still coming out. I'm loving it just as much as I loved the first season, and I really think Jason should try it.
No, I refuse.
I'm also currently watching as it's releasing What We Do in the Shadows, which is a vampire comedy uh, written by Taika Waititi and Jermaine Clement, who Taika Waititi did the Thor Ragnarok and unfortunately Thor Love and Thunder. But I promise the show is fantastic. It's have any of you guys seen it?
It
No.
has
First
Taika
season.
Waititi's name attached, so no.
Oh, I highly recommend it. It's extremely funny. It's 3 or 4 vampires living together in a house, like being roommates. Very funny. It's based off of the short film that Taika and Jermaine did when they were first starting off with directing and writing. In terms of shows that I would not recommend, I'm watching season 3 of Only Murders in the Building, which is Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Selena Gomez on Hulu. First 2 seasons were pretty. First season was fantastic. Second season was okay. Third season is really bad. Like they completely lost the idea of what the show is supposed to be about. Um, it's a murder mystery where someone dies every season. They have to figure out who. But I feel like in the third season they don't really care why. It's just like all about their own personal lives, and I really think they've lost the track of what they've been on. And I've been watching The After Party on Apple TV. That's also currently releasing. Um, Also a murder mystery where everyone or someone dies every season. They have to figure out who. First season was pretty good. I liked it. The most interesting part about it is it's taking place after the fact. And have any of you guys seen this?
I have not.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I'm
it
Oh.
takes
saying
place after the fact, and it's a detective who is interviewing 8 or 9 suspects, and each episode is their like recollection of the events that happened, and each episode is done in a different like film style. So one's noir, one's like thriller, one's action, one's horror. Like it's really interesting the way they frame that whole thing. Um, but I feel like the second one also like the mystery isn't super entertaining, but it's all right. And that's really all I've been watching so far in shows. I just finished watching Hijack with Idris Elba on Apple TV. It was really stupid. Like I don't understand why people like it.
Idris Elba, what do you mean?
That's
It
big
doesn't mean
interest.
it's smart. He can act well, but it's
Bro, it's big Idris. You're supposed to love big Idris.
I am supposed to love Big Idris. I'm sorry, Idris.
There's not a
He does a great job. It's just the whole premise is so stupid.
Is it Dumber Than Beast? Is that what that movie's called?
Ooh, I have not seen Beast, but yes,
Hey, I kind of like that movie. I kind of like that movie.
So you
The movie
won't
is dope.
watch Mean Girls, but you'll watch Beast starring Idris Elba?
Well, my girlfriend wanted to see it, so I was kind of forced anyways. Like, I didn't have a choice in the matter.
it's on Prime Video. We can go out and watch it right now.
No, I'm good.
Okay. In terms of YouTube, I have been watching mainly 2 people. Thomas Flight, who does a lot of movie breakdowns in terms of like not the movie themselves, which he does. He kind of like frames it as if he's talking about the movie, but then he gets into like a larger question on like themes and like general like tips to like understand how to watch film, which I think is really interesting. And then I've also been watching Local Script Man, who is a screenwriter who just gives his own takes on how to better write stories. And so I would highly recommend anybody who's interested in film to watch either of those channels because I think that they are really informative and I really enjoy them.
I don't like. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I don't find myself enjoying a lot of like YouTube film critics. Like I think when I was younger, maybe, but like now, like I find them all to be very arrogant and to find their opinions to be very. They think their opinions are very important. I don't know,
Yes.
and obviously,
no, I
like
totally agree with that. And I think
Yeah.
that Thomas Flight specifically is like aware of that as well. And I think that his videos are really good because I think he tries to limit his own opinions from them as much as possible. And he tries to approach them super objectively.
Yeah. Okay. Because like I used to be subscribed to like Your Movie Sucks and like Ralph the Movie Maker and like pretty much all those
Oh,
guys.
yeah, same.
And I was just like, at some point, I just kind of realized you like believe your own hype a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's just like you believe that your opinion is objectively correct, and they may say that they don't think that, but they do think that. It's kind of the same issue I have with Anthony Fantano, where it's like
Bro,
you may say
yes.
it's just your opinion, but you think you're correct ultimately.
Right.
It's not
and
just like a
for our
difference of
audience,
opinion.
Anthony Fantano is a music critic on YouTube.
Yes. Yeah.
I
And
was
your movie
watching
sucks, obviously, movies and stuff like that.
Right.
I was watching this dude called Cosmonaut Variety
Yes,
Hour.
I don't like his
I
videos.
I can't stand him. He popped up in my recommended. He was talking about the whole kind of controversy with
Spider-Man
what
Lotus, yeah.
yeah, and
He
Yes.
was talking about fan films, yeah.
he was
Oh,
talking
that's
about
right.
fan films.
Stuff you should
Yeah,
not
and
watch. Spider-Man Lotus.
yeah, oh yeah. But he was talking about it, and he was like, he spent the first 20 minutes of the video talking about, yeah, man, this movie sucks, and he didn't go into why it sucked. He just kept saying, yeah, this fan film was borrowed with controversy, and the Spider-Man actor turned out to be a racist and all this. I'm like, okay, yeah, all that is true, but why is the movie bad? He was just like,
Yeah.
yeah, I hate fan films. I'm like, dude, I'm blocking your YouTube channel.
Yeah, I just
I
get
don't want
like
to see it.
I know this isn't about this. Just because Alex, I feel like Alex, you would say you watch a lot of film YouTube, right?
I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah, I just like, and obviously as someone else who like loves film, it's just like I wish I might check out this, like you said his name was Thomas Flight.
Thomas Flight. Yes.
Yeah, I think I might check him out because like just like what me and Jason went, like it's just like the just like the I don't know, the egoism of it, of like I think I know better than you because I've seen lots of movie and I like The Godfather. It's
But
very like
anytime,
Right. And I
yeah,
could be wrong, but
it's
I don't
yeah,
get that feeling from Thomas Flight at all.
yeah, absolutely,
I
absolutely.
just feel like anytime somebody comes into anything with, I think I could do this better, I just know they're on BS because
Yeah, I don't.
it
Yeah,
takes it's so much work to make a movie. It's so much. It's the same thing in YouTube, like the video game space. Like, oh my god, my favorite is people have been talking about why doesn't Starfield look like freaking Final Fantasy 16 and stuff like that. And me and Alex got into this a little bit with our episode on
Which is
Unreal
coming out
Engine and
next week.
everything.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, yeah, coming out next week. But it's like, guys, that's not how video games work. You can't just. My favorite one is this dude said, "Why don't they just change the engine to the game? Like it's just like this thing that you could take out apart and put it back in." Like, no, it's not how it works. It drives me insane. Actually, literally.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. In terms of podcasts, I am listening to NPR's Planet Money, which is they take a story every day and they try to break it down in terms of how it like financially affects things, and I think that's pretty interesting. I would recommend their summer school session. They have, I believe it's 8 episodes where they try to build upon their knowledge of what they're teaching you every episode up until the last one where it has not come out yet as far as I am aware. I believe it comes out tomorrow or no, Wednesday. And so I'm excited to see what the final episode of that is. I'm watching or listening to the Colin and Samir show, the creator support. I really find their insight really helpful in terms of how to approach being a creator. And I think that heavily applies to us considering we are, I guess, technically creators, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
and I'm also listening to the Team Deacons podcast. I know I've spoken about this before, but it's Roger Deakins, who is a very celebrated and accomplished cinematographer. Him and I believe his wife, who have a guest on every episode. Typically, it's some people that they've worked with, but they really just talk about how they got into making movies, what they like about movies, and some of their experiences working on some of the greatest films of all time, pretty much. All right. In terms of games, I'm not really playing anything at the moment, but I am super excited for Marvel's Spider-Man 2 by Insomniac and Assassin's Creed Mirage by Ubisoft.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Are you gonna play both at the same time? Like, are you gonna get? I know they moved up Mirage 2 weeks to get it in front of
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
I will probably play both when they come out. I don't know if I'll finish Mirage in those 2 weeks, but I will play Mirage as much as I can. But
Get
I,
those
fe-
numbers up.
I feel like once Spider-Man releases, I will switch over to that for until I complete that. Then I'll go back to Mirage.
As the guy who beat Jedi Survivor
Yeah,
in
well, you
one
beat it in
weekend.
2 days, so.
Yeah, I need everybody to get up on the same pace. Same pace, everybody.
He did like 72 hours in 2 days.
Hey, hey, I'm that guy. I'm that guy. I make more time.
Okay. And I guess what I am excited for, I know these have already come out, but actually, I will say I'm also excited for Invincible. That is not out yet, but I'm excited to watch once I get Netflix back, which I think will be in a week or two. I'm gonna finally buckle down and I'll watch the last season of The Witcher. But
Oh, we need to do an
it's
episode
also
on
gonna
that.
make it on my list of things I recommend people do not watch.
We do need to do a retrospective on that show, Alex. Just me and you, because I
Okay,
think have
sure.
you guys watched it?
And fuck no.
Yeah, yeah. You know the only reason why I'm watching it. Actually, I love the
Yeah.
books, I love the games, but also it's Henry Cavill.
Well,
No,
isn't it like Chris Hemsworth's brother now?
Yes, so
that's gonna be the
that is going
next
to be the
season.
next season. This season is Henry
Oh,
Cavill's last
okay.
season.
That's why I stopped watching it. I still need to watch the last part of season 3.
Okay.
Um,
And then
yeah.
another thing that I am surprised no one else talked about, but something that is definitely taking up a lot of my free screen time is TikTok.
Oh yeah,
I feel
Oh,
like
yeah.
Ollie has a
I
full-blown
watch
addiction to
TikTok more than
TikTok.
I watch anything else.
Ollie has a full-blown addiction to TikTok.
Oh yeah, I know. That's why I'm surprised he didn't mention it.
Ours is not as bad as me because sometimes I'll be sending y'all stuff at 3 a.m. in the morning.
No, Ollie just sends everything that hits his For You page.
No, 100%.
funny, and I think you should see it. Okay.
No, I appreciate it. I appreciate you thinking of us. But
I
sometimes
did you.
when I'm logging off of my computer at work and I look at my phone, it says 45 new messages, and I say, Jesus Christ.
Jose was telling me the other day, he was like, dude, I just woke up and why do I see 50 messages from you? And I'm like, look, man, that's just the way the cookie crumbles, man. Them's the breaks. Oh man.
But no, I totally understand. But yeah, that's kind of how I've been spending my time. Yeah, is there anything else anybody wants to talk about today?
We should all do an episode where we all get on TikTok at the same time and play it through the mic for an hour. And we need to see who
Then I'd
loses
have to
their
get a
mind
TikTok
first.
account.
Bro, yeah. Bro, Charlie, why don't you have a TikTok
you
account
can do
already?
Instagram reels. That'll be fine.
Reels.
Yeah, Reels is not as funny though. Reels is not as funny though.
No, real.
Have you guys seen
You just don't
the
have the right
French dude?
algorithm, Jason.
Well, maybe I don't. My favorite one right now.
Jason's entire Reels algorithm is like 9/11 videos.
It is though. It is though. It really is. My
That's his
TikTok right now.
entire.
Yeah, my TikTok right now is the French dude. I need more bullets. I need more bullets.
He got banned. I'm so sad.
I
He
know.
got banned? No.
My boy. All he wanted was more bullets.
Is
Wait,
that
is
what
the
Trump's
guy?
mugshot? Those
the
two are
guy?
hilarious.
So is like who's that dude who's like massacre coming, I gotta get out of here. Yo, what is that guy?
Oh, I haven't seen that one. What?
I have
Ah.
never heard of that.
I'll send you guys that one. That guy's crazy.
Oh.
Massacre coming. Yo, I gotta get out of here.
I need to see that. That's crazy.
Okay. All right. Anything else anybody wants to talk about?
Everybody, your homework after this episode is to watch things that make you uncomfortable. So I need everybody in their audience to watch 12 Years a Slave. Right.
Is 12 Years a Slave uncomfortable? I don't play Table Years a Slave uncomfortable.
Well, I mean, come on. You don't think white people get a little bit uncomfortable when they're watching that? Like that in Selma? Come on now. Alex?
What? Maybe if you're racist. I feel like you'd only be uncomfortable watching Selma if you're a racist.
Yeah.
No, man.
I've seen
No,
Selma.
man.
I was sad, but I wasn't uncomfortable.
Right. Like, okay, maybe that's just, okay. Have you guys ever seen The Black Klansman
Yeah.
with Adam Driver and
I
John David Washington? Oh my God.
I've only seen that
The
one
clip?
clip.
Yeah, the clip of Adam Driver. Yeah, every time I
That's
see
the
that,
clip
I'm
you
like,
get to see,
am
really.
I a racist? Yeah, I get that. Am I racist? What is going on here? Do I agree with this? All right, cut that out. That wasn't important.
Don't cut that out. Keep that in. Don't cut that out.
Another thing that I've been doing is reading.
Okay.
Okay, I didn't know you could read, Ollie.
Me and my wonderfully beautiful, lovely girlfriend Hope have been like buying a
My name
bunch of.
isn't Hope.
It's a beautiful
I'm sorry.
silence.
Keep going. Keep going.
What have you been reading, Ali?
Oh, we've bought a bunch of books, but one book that I've been like reading the most is called Brothers in Valor, and it's about up to the point that they wrote it, all the um Black Medal of Honor recipients, like from basically the start of the United States until now. Well, most recently, there was another recipient. His name is
I'm looking up.
damn. It's Paris D. Davis, I believe. Hold on.
Yep, Percy Davis. Excuse me.
He's retired Army colonel. He was Special Forces. And he earned his Medal of Honor during the Vietnam War, but he didn't get it for like 60 years or something.
Yeah, he was received it on the 3rd of March 2023 for his actions in the June 18th of 1965.
Yeah,
That's crazy. That's a long time.
that man, he is a badass. And basically because, well, if you read the book Brothers in Valor, a lot of people didn't receive the Medal of Honor because they were African American and seen as lesser. And it's the same thing with Colonel Davis. His paperwork for the Medal of Honor um, was sent up the chain of command like 3 times, and each time it was lost because he was a black man. No other reason.
That's
And
crazy, isn't it?
yeah. And it's only recent. I think it was because of like granddaughter, she or grandson, they knew his story and reached out to their congressman, and he finally received it.
Oh man, I'm looking up him on Wikipedia, and homie is like the real life Solid Snake from Metal Gear Solid. It's crazy.
Oh yeah.
That's crazy. Like, yeah, I'm looking at this. He's like, that's crazy. I didn't know about this. I feel like this is something I should have heard about,
And
especially because it was this year.
for those of you who don't know, the Medal of Honor is the highest military achievement you can get like during wartime, and
Yeah.
it's presented for heroics and gallantry.
This is gonna be so dumb. What is gallantry?
Bro, look it up.
Is it? I
If
think
you're
it's
gonna bring it up, you're gonna need to define it.
Man. Isn't
Okay.
it kind of crazy? I'll throw this in here. Isn't it kind of crazy how they printed all these Medal of Honors, like the medals? They printed all of them, anticipating an invasion of Japan that never happened. So all the medals that have been given out were made in like 1944, 1945. They haven't had to make new ones. Every time I hear that, I was like, "That's crazy."
That is
Anyway,
kind of
That is interesting, yeah.
yeah.
I looked up
It's
gallantry since Ollie wouldn't tell me. You could have just said it's courageous behavior. You could've just-
I didn't know.
Okay.
I didn't know that's what that meant.
All right,
I do
well,
have one. I do have a serious. Oh, sorry, Alex.
No, go ahead.
What's the difference? Are the Purple Heart and the Medal of Honor the same thing, or what's the difference between those two?
Purple Heart is
No.
if you're wounded, correct?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
In battle. That's
Okay.
Yeah, and so speaking to what I said earlier, I was wrong too. It was the Purple Heart, not the Medal of Honor, but they printed like hundreds of thousands of ahead of time.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
the Purple Heart. I'm sorry, I gave wrong information.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for sharing that, Ali. With that being said, is there anything else, or is it time to end the episode?
How long are we at?
We are
Yeah.
about an hour and 10 minutes.
battle's long.
Well, yeah. Let's let's just get in here. Let's all acknowledge that I'm right. That Star Wars sucks.
No.
Let's not talk about Star Wars.
We're not going to talk about Star Wars. We will have a Star Wars episode in the future, but
Do we even need to? It's just everyone except Jason agrees that Star Wars
exactly,
should
that's
be
what's going to
about.
make the best content.
No, because I feel like I'm gonna get yelled at. I'm gonna have to defend myself. I'm gonna jump up and start standing up.
That's what's going to make the best content.
Ooh.
Okay. All
I
right.
don't
Well,
think I have
with that
anything,
being
yeah.
said, all right, it is time to end the episode. Thank you, everybody, so much for listening. I hope you could take what we said as some inspiration for if you were looking for something to watch, listen to, any games you're maybe hoping to get into, and stay tuned. Next week, it's going to be just Jason and I talking about Unreal Engine and just video game engines in general. And the week after that,
Yeah.
Shikari is bringing back Modern Music Classics Part 2, but with a little bit of rebranding. So stay tuned for that. As always, follow us on Instagram, X, and Threads at OTOTPod and Threads.
We're gonna single-handedly save Threads.
We're trying. And thank you so much. See you next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Deuces.
Love you.